Alright, so now we're gonna do the modeling itself. And what we're gonna make is a like guide mesh for the entire body, so that when we cut panels out and cut vents and stuff, the topology just stays so much cleaner. Yeah, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna organize our scene here a bit better. So I have this guide mesh from the GT2 just because I want to have something to reference of how I did this topology, because I want to keep it clean and yeah, I don't want to spend too much time like worrying. So yeah, we'll go into the object outliner up here. We'll add a new collection, and I'm just gonna call this one. Actually, first of all, let's just call this collection um, background images. So that if we're like we just want to look at it from a different perspective with them off, we can just do that. And I'm gonna leave this thing. You wouldn't have this, but it's just for me. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna hide that, and we're actually just gonna name this instead guide mesh, because we're gonna be making the guide mesh for this car. Right. That's good. Next, I'm going to import some background images. So how I like to set up my scene is okay, let me show you how I did that. So if you go to the top corner of a window here, like the little there. Why is it not working now? Okay, I don't want that. Sorry. Like go to the okay, what is going on here? Go to the corner and pull. I don't know why it wasn't working at top. Yeah, and then bring it out, and we're gonna change this to the outliner. So we have the outliner here if we ever need to access that, and I have this up here for my image editor, and I'm gonna open these three images that I have, and these are all reference images, so that I can look at them within the model, and I don't have to like skip in and out when I'm modeling, which is so much easier. Yeah, and then for the time being, we just make these windows smaller so that we can look at the reference image a lot clearer. So yeah, that's nice. Okay, so let's start by Shift A, and let's make a circle. And the circle, you'll see it places it down there. I'm just gonna go into side view. Down here where it says add circle, we're gonna open it. First, we're gonna align it to our view. You can change a global setting. You can change a setting to make it like always align to rear view or global, but I don't mind like just adding it. Changing it every time I need to, because I just have more control. And I'm gonna bring the vertices down to something like, I don't know, 18. I like 18. You know. Yeah, good. And now just tab into edit mode. So one thing you need to remember is when you scale in object mode, it sets the scale of the object. But when you scale in edit mode, it doesn't change it, which can affect modifiers such as bevel or solidify. So yeah, most of the time you want to do your scaling in edit mode. It's just good practice, because the bevel, like when you add a bevel modifier, the thickness sometimes, if you scaled your object weirdly in object mode, the bevel's not gonna actually follow like your world scale, pretty much. But yeah, we just hope we don't run into that problem. If you do, I'll show you how to fix it later, but it's not important right now. But yeah, if you do have that issue, it could be because of like you scaled it wrong. Yeah, so now we're just gonna move it all in edit mode. I'm gonna move this circle until it lines up with the wheel arch. And then, yeah, you just need a little bit more room in the here. That looks okay. Bring it down, scale it in a bit. And then now these in the bottom, just gonna use C to get this tool where we can slide it, and we're gonna select these, press X. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn on my keys. So you press X to delete. And then we're gonna move these just into position, and we're gonna add a little curve there. But yeah, do the same here. Nice. Okay. So next we're gonna make the lip there. So we're just gonna select everything with A, press E to extrude, and I'm going to first I'm gonna click so they're there, and then I'm gonna scale with S, and then I'm gonna scale. Just move them up, and I'm gonna scale them along the Y like that, and then I'm going to just straighten some areas out. Let me just bring this out a little bit more. Cool. Yeah, bring it out a bit. Actually, no. It's kind of fine how it is. Could come in like that. Just like, I don't know, just follow the blueprint as best as you can, and then you'll be fine. And then if you go into front view, we'll see this not actually in the front. So we'll just fix that. Easy peasy. Slide it out to the side. Yeah. So it seems like this is a bit big. So we're just gonna bring it so it's on the inside lip. That's a bit better. And then let's look at the front. Okay, I don't have like an exactly front, but you can see that it kind of curves in a little there, and it's angled a bit. So we're gonna select it all, and then we're gonna find this point, the topmost point, and we're gonna go up here to our pivot point, go to active element, and then whatever is selected in white is our active element. So you can deselect it and select it again so that it turns into your active element. And we're gonna rotate along the Y, just slightly to bring it in to match the blueprints like that. RY. Yep. And then the back one, what we're actually going to do is we're just going to move it by hand. GX. And then there. Maybe this one, move it just a bit more. And then we're going to go back to median point for the future. Yeah, that's that part so far. Now we can like find like big sections to connect. So the next big section I guess we can connect is this outer rim on the light. So we're going to add another circle in edit mode again, so we're in the same object, and come down here, and I think I'll do about 12, and then we're going to align it to my view, and we're going to bring it across and just scale it down, and then we'll line it up in front view as best as we can. We're going to scale it along X, rotate it a little bit, keep scaling, and just line it up. Try not to deviate too much from the circle, especially for the like Porsches. And then we're gonna use L to select like a linked thing, kind of just like select the whole body, kind of. And then we're gonna GY and move it to about here. So you could, well, you couldn't, but you'd probably think to rotate it, but that doesn't work. What we want to do is we want to keep this circular shape, but have it on the sideways tilt. So we can do that by shearing. So we select everything, Control Shift Alt S, and then we can move it like this to shear. And if it's not working for you, just like select the axes like Y or X, and then see how it works. But yeah, this is fine for me. I'm gonna get the rough shape like that, and I'm just gonna move it into position and shear it one more time, kind of. and then if you look at it from front view, it keeps the same circular shape that we had before, which is really nice. And then let's see, from top view, we just want to line it up a bit more. If I rotate it like that, it just changes it too much. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start bringing these points onto the blueprint. Just to match the blueprint. And we just want to keep doing this from all the different angles until they line up. So this needs to come down to here. Same for that. This right here should come up a bit. Okay, this is fine. Okay, we moved the wrong side by accident, but that's fine. We'll bring the right side down first. Yeah, and then this actually. Try and like guess the curve. Like imagine a curve from here up to there. Like guess how it would connect. Yeah. That looks pretty good. And then from front view, we'll see that it actually still lines up. Not bad. Which is perfect. So yeah, just alternate between views. Tweak here and there. Like when you tweak, try and lock it to an axis so that it doesn't like move in other views. And still try and keep like the curve. If the views don't like 100% match up, that's fine. Yeah, just keep tweaking, and yeah, like that's good right now. It lines up in most of the views that we have, and like yeah, especially the important ones. And yeah, it looks a bit lonely right now, but that's fine. Yeah, so that's another major section that we have done. Let me go to a different reference view. So we see like, actually no, we'll do that part later. Let's keep like putting in major lines that you can follow. So I think we'll do the hood line right here, because we can see it on all of the blueprint angles, and that's really helpful. I'm just trying to understand because it's a bit different, and there's some creases here that are kind of new to me that weren't on the GT2 RS. That's alright, so I'm just going to go into top view, and I'm going to select the vertex here and press Shift D, and that duplicates it, and I'm just going to move it up there, and I'm going to try and like get it in a good point, and then we're going to just start extruding and placing on the line. Yeah, and so when we get to here, we'll see that if we were to eventually face this area up, we want to use quads. So this is uneven, but like I'm gonna add like one of these in later, but not now, just to get the curve clean. But I'm gonna put it where this will eventually connect here, and this would eventually connect there. And if I needed to, I would put this in there, and it would fit like perfectly in the middle for us. So just like consider that when you're adding in these. I'm doing the same thing where I line this up with that, so that this eventually I can bring it down to connect those, just to save us time in the future, you know, to save us cleaner topology. We'll see here that it has like the slightest of lips, and we're gonna make that slight lip by bringing this line around rather than straight down. So we can be a bit more generous with how many cuts we have. And now I think would be a good time to add the mirror modifier. So go to your properties panel and add a mirror. We'll see here that the mirror is actually behind it. That's because of the issue that I said why you shouldn't scale outside of edit mode. To fix this, you press Ctrl A and you apply all the transforms. Location, rotation, and scale. And then it fits perfectly on the world. It's better than like how it was before. We don't want to like use Z instead because that doesn't make like there's no consistency there. We want everything to be on the X, especially if we're adding stuff. So we're like joining things together later. Yeah, so we want everything on the X by Control A and applying all the transforms. And then we're going to turn on clipping, which means if it touches the axis, then it joins, which is just fine. That's what we want. And now the same thing as we did before. Just want to line everything up that we just did in the other axes. So these like slower lining up parts, in the future I'm just going to start speeding them up because there's really no need for you guys to watch me do it like by hand. But I'll leave it now for the start just for the sake of I don't know, it's just the first part. I hope you guys can handle something a little bit longer. If you think that the video is too long, just let me know. I'm willing to try and cut it down as best as I can, but I'm trying to be pretty thorough. But yeah, now we have that lined up quite nicely. I like that. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm actually going to take a break because I need to look at a few more reference images because I'm not entirely sure how this section right here actually lines up. So I'm going to take a break and I'm going to look at some more reference images and then I'll be back. Alright, sorry about the break. So yeah, it doesn't seem like it actually connects up anywhere. It's more of a seam just so like, I don't know, airflow or something. Yeah, let's continue on what we were doing. So I want to do this part now, up to the side. So we're just going to take this one, extrude it down. The reason I didn't take the middle one is if I extruded it down, it would be stuck and I would have to turn the clipping off, and I don't want to waste time doing that. So yeah, we'll get this one, and we're just going to bring it across like it is in the reference image. We're going to move it forward, and then we're going to bring it to the middle there, which is fine. Yeah, and then front view, we're just going to bring it up to there because this is a point that we can see in all views. So I can see it there, so I know that it should line up there. And it's not exactly lining up, that's fine. And then we can add this and just follow the curve. So yeah, when you're using blueprints, that's pretty important to like think about. Is can I see it in other views to make it easier? And then the rest of it is relatively straight. So we're just gonna bring it around like that. And side view, we'll see that it actually goes up a little bit. And yeah, luckily we can just follow the blueprint. To be a little bit more gradual, less aggressive, less wonky as well. Yeah, cool. This section actually looks like it'll be kind of a pain in the butt to do because of the indicator. That's fine. We'll work through that. No problem. Yeah, not looking forward to that part. Okay, but yeah. That's all well and good. Cool. We'll move on actually to finish this part and get a bit of the hood in. So yeah, okay, it's in the front of the blueprint, which is cool. So this part has a little lip there, and the lip kind of dissipates itself, so it doesn't like connect to anything else. So we're just gonna hide that for now, and we're gonna select this, and we're gonna extrude, and actually I'm not gonna scale, I'm just gonna move the lip back and in, and I'm gonna make it slightly less thick, and I'm gonna double tap G on these, and I'm gonna slide them so that the rim is slightly more consistent. And if I bring that back, that's fine. Okay. Just laughing to myself because I thought the GT3 would be a bit, it would be pretty similar, but it's actually quite different from the GT2. So yeah, we're gonna bring that back, that vertice, so we don't have to worry about disabling clipping. And we're gonna make it so it kind of matches the amount of vertices that's on the front. And our front view, we'll see that it needs to come up to about that point. And we're just gonna bring the rest of it up like that. I think I brought it up too much here. It's kind of a problem with the blurry blueprints, but you know, you gotta live with it. So we see these actually, we can bring them up a bit more. So, yes, there's a bit of a discrepancy. My bad, my microphone died. But yeah, let's see, let's move this up to there. Yeah, so it looks like we have a little problem in our blueprints. So now it's an important time to decide which blueprint we're going to trust more. I think we're going to go with the side viewprint. Because we have a lot more detail, and it doesn't actually infringe too much on the front. So yeah, we're going to follow the side. And yeah, we're going to make that curve more gradual, like it was. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm just worried this area is going to get pretty congested because of these two. So yeah, we'll worry about that later. Because we don't have to do the hood cutout yet, because we'll do that afterwards. So if I bring in this guide mesh, you'll see that like it's all one face right here. I didn't make a new face. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna grab these, and we're just gonna extrude them back, and we're just gonna move them across the G-axis, and I'm gonna edge slide these so they're more spread out. And then a front view, we'll just move them up like that. And I'm gonna scale along the Z, and I'm gonna pull up. So it's not only just a bit flatter, but it creates that curve a bit nicer. And then it's side view, let's just line that up. And I'm gonna bring that up to match that a bit better. You know what, we're just gonna scale them along the Z, 0, so it's flat. Yeah, and that works nicely. Gonna select again, but this is our active element. And we'll go to active element, we're just gonna scale it along the Y. We're gonna pull it so that it matches the blueprint a bit better. I'm gonna go back to medium point. Yeah. And then now we're gonna face this up. And here, I'm just gonna face that up. And then this is an area that we'll have to sort out in a second. But that is fine. That is fine. I'm gonna bring these forward. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna add this there. And we're gonna bring this, put a face in. And then we're gonna bring it up just so it's better. And we're gonna add this edge loop in there. And side view, we're gonna bring it up just slightly to create a bit of a curve. Yeah, so I'm sorry if like the things I'm adding, I'm not really talking about why I'm adding them. I'm just doing it. I'll try and do better to explain it. But basically, we see this goes up past that point. So I added that so that this face, I'm gonna do something to this face to get that effect. And what we're going to do is, so when you make a car, you want to strive for quads in your faces. But sometimes, I sneak in a tri. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to sneak in a tri right here. So I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to sneak in that tri. And a front view, I'm just going to put it there. And then, yeah, that's one tri, but it's fine. It's not in an area that will be too visible, and we need to get that little effect there. Cool. Yeah. And actually, we're gonna finish this off now by selecting these. And we're going to extrude it down to match that. And then also, yeah. And just edge slide it. And then we're gonna match it with the tri we just added. And then we can select this as a whole. And then we bring it down and back a little bit. So we get that, that, sorry, yeah, whatever it's called, a lip, cool. We're gonna shade it smooth, and we're gonna throw on a subdivision surface. So we can look at what we have. And we'll see that, yeah, it's alright so far. And we have that little effect from the tri. For example, if we add this holding loop here with Control R, and I'm going to, don't worry about what I'm doing right now. I'm just showing you what it would look like in the future, and then I'll show you how to do it in the future. Yeah, we get that little crease there, which is cool. We get that line. But yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, sorry. We're gonna just get rid of it really quickly. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about that. That comes later. And then up here we have weird things that we will sort out later also. Now we're just gonna face up this front part. So, yeah, select them and just face up those first few. And I'm just going to edge slide and try and line it up better so it's less, funky. And actually, yeah, it has a little bit of a bulge, or, yeah, bulge. So we're just gonna add another edge loop with Control R, and we're going to match the blueprint, which is cool. Get that bulge in there. Cool, cool, cool. Next, we're going to, let's see. Yeah, I might just finish the hood out for now. So let's grab these, and yeah, on top view, I'm just going to extrude it back to the point that the hood is, and then have the active element selected, and we're just gonna scale along the X like that, and then now we're gonna scale. We're gonna rotate along the Y, and scale and rotate like that. Cool. And then bring these down to match the blueprint once again. So yeah, it's just a big matter of sliding edges to match the blueprint, which is cool. And then we're gonna bring it up right there. And then, you know, whoa, match the blueprint. But kind of did a bad job at matching because those colors fade into each other. Okay, this is interesting. Yeah. Like that. Cool, cool, cool. And then if you look at it from side view, it is flat. So we need to add more edge loops. So we see that we have 4 here. I'm just going to get rid of this for now by X and dissolving the vertex, and we're going to bring it up to even it up. Yeah, so now we only have 3 here. And we Control R, and I'm going to scroll up until we have 3. Nice. And then I'm gonna move them up so we create a curve, you know. Yeah, just do that. Get a curve that looks, you know, not bad in it. Yeah. So it kind of like does that thing, like it goes up for some reason near the end. We're gonna add that later. Don't worry. Yeah, now we have that. We can face these up, which is cool. But this is, I don't like this, where they don't follow. So I'm just gonna edge slide so it does follow. Just because it, you know, it'll help the edge. I mean, it'll help the geometry and the smoothness of the surface if it flows. And just make sure that it still stays on the blueprints. But that's cool. Front view shouldn't have any problems. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good so far, not gonna lie. Yeah. Back in this view, we'll see that the surface right here is just smooth. So we're just gonna replicate that by, you know, let's add another try here. So we're gonna select these two, selecting this one first and then this one, and we're gonna merge at last. Last means I selected that one last. And we're gonna put a face there. Cool. And now you'd never know. I mean, you would, but like it still looks smooth, which is fine by me. And if you crank up the subdivision amount, it'll look fine in the future. No problem. No problem. We're gonna keep it low for modeling though. Cool. Now, let's do that bit all the way back there. And in the side view, we'll see that there's a little bit of a crease there that goes along with the vent. But yeah, so we're just gonna select that top one. I'm gonna go into side view, bring it up a bit higher. Sorry about the burp. I've been talking a lot today. We're just going to extrude it. But first, I'm going to hide the hood because it's getting in my way. So just pick everything and press H. And now extrude it back, and pay in mind that eventually these surfaces will join. So if you can, try and make it equal with, you know, them. Yeah. It just saves you so much time later. And then back there. Cool. And in top view, we'll see that it actually needs to come out. And then we can, this part, it gives us the blueprint. And then when we get to this point, we just have to, you know, use our own imagination. And Alt H brings back hidden objects, will bring back the hood. Yeah. And then in this view, let's select this. So it will get a little bit congested there, but shouldn't be too big of a problem. Can extrude this along the X. We're gonna bring it down just a little bit, and then in front view we're gonna bring it up like that, and then we'll face that there. Cool. Yeah. So we'll see that this is the hood. It's not gonna line up perfectly, so we're gonna have to change the amount of edge loops there. But you know, we'll do that later. No problem. And I'm just gonna shade it smooth again. Cool. And then in front view, we'll see how that looks. It's a bit, you know, wonky. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. It's gonna bring this down slightly. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm gonna start facing this section up, I think. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine, honestly, to leave it like that. Let's see. I want to bring this back more. Just worried that uh, like having too many edge loops next to each other will create like creases. So just try and space them out a little bit more. And then, yeah, but I want to have that face go together like that. And then we're going to add another edge loop here. And every time you add a new edge loop, just like curve it, you know. What we're going to do is I'm going to go to matte cap by going to shading, like viewport shading. Go for something bright. And then just run, like look around to make sure that there's no like creasing. That's like too obvious. You know, we're fine right now. But I don't like modeling with a matte cap on. So, and then we'll keep facing up as we go up until here. And then we're just gonna bring that back, and same there. Now, you know, what's going on there? Funny story actually. I would abandon projects when I first started using Blender. when this happened to me because I just didn't know what to do. So what's going on here is the normals aren't facing the same direction. They're being twisted. So for example, this one is looking up, whereas this is looking down. So what we just do is we select everything and we shift, control, N, and then wow, it's fixed. It's so easy. But I would abandon projects because I didn't know. So yeah, because it's like it's a tough question to Google. Like, help, my model is black. Like, all right, cool. But yeah, just fix that up, no problem. Bring this up slightly, and then we'll add a new one there, and then just face it up back, and then try and fix the flow, just because it'll look prettier. Yeah, nice. That is very nice. Yep. Yeah, we'll move on to this part now. Let's see. So the crease actually starts up there. Yeah, I'm gonna move this over like that, and we're gonna move this in to give us more room to work with this. I'm gonna select it, and we're just going to make it. So we have that bolt there, so cool. And then actually we're going to delete this face. And I'm going to put it right there. And we're going to work out how to put it in together. I'm just going to hide that, and then that means we can hide the whole thing, just while I line this up. So if you can't see anything, just hide it. Yeah, alright, and then we'll bring it back and see what we have. Alright. This is going to be fun. Trying to figure it out. So let's extrude it this way, just slightly like that, just so slightly, so that we have the top of it. So it's very thin. Okay, we kind of need that, but I'm not against adding it because then we can create a little dip there. So yeah, before we do anything, we're gonna create that dip. So actually, before that, we're just gonna like uncongest this area. Yeah, cool. That's fine to do that, yeah. Okay, nope. Back to what we were doing. Yeah, so we'll select this, and I'm going to select that as the active element. We're already there in front of you. I'm going to scale along the X. And we're going to bring this up. Just because it like does a little pinch in. I don't know if you can see it. I can kind of make it out on the reference image. It'll be interesting later. Yeah, back to medium point, sorry. And then, yeah. Let's see. So yeah, we can face up this area now. So we'll figure out how we're going to face that up. So that's easy. Let's see. Can do that. And then, nope. Up there. Shade smooth to fix that problem. And we need an extra bit of geometry there. We'll just make the curve. And then that works. And we're just gonna merge that. Nice. So we got that, and then we got this thing. How? Alright, next let's do this. Let's face this up. Yeah. And then that needs to be faced up. Just make sure that it's still fine. And then we're gonna add that and bring it out slightly. And okay, no problem. It means we need to get this there to fit that. Gonna face that and bring it there. So we have that part faced up. Nice. Alright, so I'm actually just gonna merge that. And I'm gonna do the same there. And we'll see how that goes. And just fix the shading issue. So I don't actually want to add that much geometry here. I'm fine with adding one, but you know, after that, it's too much for me. And I want to line this up a bit more, so it's cleaner. Okay, now, face, face, face. Cool. That actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. Wow. Yeah, we got it. I feel like I want this to be sharper further down. How can I do that? Right. Let's hide this point. No. Hide that point. We'll add that there. And then we'll press J. And then F. And then we're gonna bring this in. Okay. That's nicer. And then this point, we're just gonna bring it down there. So the line follows. Cool. I like that. And then in matte cap, we'll see it. Kind of annoying, the position of the matte cap. Okay, that's fine. I believe that it'll work. You know? And kind of forgot to do that. So we're gonna do that now. So we're gonna select these faces. Just gonna bring them up. And I wanna hide this. And then once we get there, just gonna bring it down. And then this lip right there, bring it up to match that. And if we hide everything, we have this extra cut there. We could join it there, but we're not going to. We're gonna do an angon here, which is a 5-sided face. Well, I hope that works. I think it should. But yeah, now we have that little lip, and then we can exaggerate it by... Does that exaggerate enough? We can add this there without causing too much problem. And then... yeah, so what I'm just doing is adding holding loops to make the edge tighter. So I'm just Control R and I bring it to the edge to tighten it. And this, we don't want it too tight. We want it to be gradual, but we want it to be a bit harsh. And then we might bring it just to define the shape. That's, we don't need that. Let's see how that looks with a high subdivision amount. Yeah. Fits the reference pretty well. Okay, well, these two need to join. Okay, yeah, that fixes that problem. Okay, I think that's enough for this part. Yeah, we're gonna do the next part after. Cool, stay tuned. It shouldn't take too long to come out.